probably there's some truth to it. I had Governor Bill Weldon. He said he thinks there's a hidden Trump vote, people who don't necessarily say that they want to vote for Donald Trump. Also, Alan Dershowitz was just on a couple of segments ago saying when you have a populist candidate, often they're underpolled, and if you look at Brexit, if you look at other populist candidates, and the polls are not necessarily accurate. He could be, instead of behind 2, he could be up 2. He could be up 3.
But we didn't see that in the primaries. In the primaries, in the Republican primaries, the polls actually turned out to be very accurate in terms of Donald Trump's support.
But it was different. It was because he was up against.
He had a lot more support, right? But we haven't seen that so far with Donald Trump. Is the only point I'm making.
Look, Ed Rendell said it just this week. He said in Pennsylvania he thinks there's a hidden vote for Donald Trump. This is the former governor, a very well-respected Democrat, who says there's a hidden vote for Donald Trump. If that is the case, and what we see is the intensity on Donald Trump's vote is very high right now. He's doing well. He's bringing those Republicans home. He's doing much better amongst the African-American community than Mitt Romney did or John McCain did. He's doing well with Hispanics, relatively speaking. Let me read it to you. The Remington Research Poll. Let me give it to you exactly.
The Remington Research Poll?
If you look at Real Clear Politics, it's one of the polls that they look at.
But you're choosing one poll.
No, I'm going to read it all to you. I'm going to give it to you. Donald Trump in Colorado is getting 27% of the African-American vote. In Pennsylvania, he's getting 19% of the vote. In Wisconsin, he's getting 22% of the African-American vote. Of those people polled in a poll which Real Clear Politics uses for the poll of polls. So that's my research, unless you have something to prove me otherwise.
Okay, but it just seems to me more logical to look at the aggregate of polls across. I didn't think so. Sorry. Don't interrupt me.
Look, you asked me.
I'm just saying that let's look at this methodologically. You chose one poll and 3 states in that poll. Wouldn't it make more sense to look at the aggregate?
What's the aggregate number among African-American voters?
I don't have it on top of my head, but
okay.
No.
Corey does.
No,
I have the numbers right here.
He's referring to
He's the only one with numbers on African-American voters at the table.
No, you're referring to one particular poll. There have been news article after news article after news article suggesting that Donald Trump is actually underperforming that. Now, the question is,
which article?
The real question is,
which news article?
Let him finish.
I don't have
to
have...
So you're saying article after article? Give me one example.
The New York Times written about the Washington Post.
Who from the New York Times wrote it?
Hey, listen, Corey, don't give me this nonsense, okay?
Your crap is the problem.
Okay, Corey, listen, I'm not getting paid by one of the candidates, okay?
Neither am I.
So when we're talking about integrity here,
and I think you couldn't get paid by one of the candidates because you have no
no, actually, because I'm a journalist.
On that note, stand by.
Journalism is worse than being paid by a candidate, believe me.
Stand by. If you have 27% of